What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on in NFL world? How you doing, Division Rivals? This is Stephen Hyder, Gate City Sports Channel. Sports Channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, everybody. Part 2, Liberty quarterback Malik Willis, Senior Bowl kind of reps and what I think about it. So this second part of the video, I'm going to focus more so on like the 11-on-11 drills and then kind of give you my insights, my viewpoint about how Malik Willis performed in those 11-on-11 drills. So why is this important? Because the vast majority of the criticism about Malik Willis has to do with the fact that he's had a couple of, multi-interception games on his resume against D1 competition, and the competition at Liberty is not always the greatest, right? So seeing him go up against 11-on-11s in the Senior Bowl where there's really good competition from Power 5 conferences he's got to play against, it gives you some idea of where he is in, the skill set of all these guys in particular, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's jump into the video. All right, the first play here, what we see is 11-on-11 drill. Malik Willis is under center, so interesting kind of wrinkle here. Under center, little play action look. This is what I would call probably a semi-roll or a half roll. And we can see it's the depth of a 5-step, maybe arguably if that's a 7-step in terms of the timing of the play. You can see he works over to the tight end. It's actually a really good pass. So my thoughts on a play like this is this is probably the way a lot of front offices who are looking at Malik Willis as a long-term play at quarterback, this is kind of probably how they vision him, right? Getting him outside the pocket, getting him to be able to use that mobility and what he can do, give him an opportunity to see things, let things develop. But what I will tell you is this. A lot of people discount play action passing and why it's difficult for quarterbacks to execute. It's because you have to turn your eyes away from coverage for a second. So for Malik Willis, this is a really, really good look on film for him to turn his eyes away from a second on a play action pass, semi-roll out, and then a really good pass into the tight end. Second play on 11-11 drill here. What we see this time is number one, a little alteration to the protection, right? We see Robinson Jr., I believe who that is, the running back. Malik kind of shifts him over to the right side, to the left side. Not sure why he did that because I think the more pertinent pass rusher or danger area was to the right, not the left, but I don't know, it could be something the coaches were teaching him up to do. With that said, I see a really nice subtle manipulation, standing tall in the pocket, steps up, doesn't try to immediately run, keeps his eyes downfield. Now, if we go back and we take a look at the drop, I think the drop is very argumentative for what it is. This could technically be a one-step drop with a false step. So 2 drops basically, guys, but they still call that a one-step drop. Some quarterback coaches teach that. I'm not a big proponent of it, but there's a segment that is pretty high on it. The other way of looking at it is it's a 3-step drop. Remember, when you're in shotgun, a 1-step drop is like a 3-step drop under center, and a 3-step drop is like a 5-step drop when you're under center, when you're in the shotgun. Because this is a deep dig route, and it's pretty cool, I'm going to say this is probably a 3-step, but I don't know ultimately. It's hard to say from this, the advantage point I got to look at here. What I will say is this is a really good NFL level throw here. Missed the marker a little bit. I'll be honest with you guys. He's a little back shoulder instead of front shoulder there. But it's a difficult play, and it is a deep dig route. He's stepping up into the pocket. This is why people probably came away with a fairly positive viewpoint about Malik Willis from this game. Although I still think there's a lot of questions that are left to be answered from this. All right, guys. Third play. I love this one because this shows the idea and the premise of a high-low read, right? And this concept of putting a defender kind of in a decision, right? And what I love about this, if you watch number 26, they kind of got this like little seam route running that way, and that's the primary read there. He's looking to see what 26 does. 26 falls back on it. So we have a defender in conflict, which then opens up the underneath route. So he comes back to the underneath route, which is a timing route. It's kind of a speed out route, so it's a really quick decision. I mean, this is a good look for Malik Willis, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. You might be a big skeptic of him, and you can say it's one-size sample size, 11-on-11 in the Senior Bowl, and that's fair, guys. I get it. But that's an NFL-level pass, guys. There's just no doubt about it, guys. This is a 2-person progression. He's high-lowing this corner. He makes the right decision, and it's done on a very snap basis, it's important to see him do that. Next play up, Malik Willis back under center again. This time, interest to this play here. We're going to have what I would probably call a 5-step drop, although it almost gains the depth of a 7-step drop, but it is kind of what it is there, guys. So you got a little play action. You can see there's a play action. It does hold that crashing corner or edge defender, if you will, there. I will say they got away with one here because if the edge defender plays the cornerback, that's probably a sack. Now, could be, if you keep your head downfield and you're looking and you're trying to wait for that play to develop, you could make the argument here that you could maybe get the ball in. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't love the play design here. This was a really bad design play. I mean, doesn't give him a whole lot here. But, I mean, maybe if he hangs in there and he grips it and rips it, he can get it to that receiver as he breaks to the top of the route stem. Sure, but it's probably not the pass you want to see from a young quarterback, right? Probably the right decision to tuck it and run here, but I can definitely get people to say, like, hey, man, here we go, a little bit off schedule. We need to see him play on schedule, not so much off schedule football. I mean, it is what it is. I think these type of plays are more complex, right? This isn't a definitive yes or no answer to this one. It's the talent of the player. Like, are you better at throwing that ball or are you better at running that ball? Because both options were open to you on that particular play. All right, the next play up, guys. I just want to state this. This is probably not the most complex play to run on an offense. It isn't. But it does give you an idea of the timing and rhythm of the quarterback here. Because this is basically going to be a 0-step or a 1-step, no-hitch, throw the football type situation. What you're running here is just a simple bubble screen to the wide receiver. Difference being a tunnel screen, the receiver should come back towards the quarterback a little bit. Bubble screen, you kind of just move backwards, stay in place, and you set the blockers up, guys. So I would call this a bubble screen. I mean, not a whole lot you can discern from this other than that. Okay, I mean, the timing looks okay to me. I will say the ball placement, shorter guy. I think, if it was a taller receiver, probably not a huge deal, but a shorter guy, you can tell the ball's a little high on him. He has to go up there and go get the ball for him. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is, guys. All right, guys. Under center, you got a far hash throw coming to you, right? 7-step drop. It's a big play. This tells you something big's coming in terms of development. What we have here is an out route from the receiver. You can see the inside receiver is going to run that out route here. It's a big, deep drop here. This is a far hash throw, so you got to put a little velocity on the football to drive it there. Does he do the best drive driving that ball? No. I thought he put a little more touch on that one than he did velocity, but it's a well-placed ball, easy for his receiver to go get it, easy pass and catch for him on a far hash throw. It's an NFL caliber football throw there, guys. There's no doubt about that one. The next play, Malik Willis, guys, is back in the shotgun formation. This is one of those plays where I can't judge coverage, guys. The angle's not good enough. There's nothing I can do about this, guys. The angle's not good enough. All I can really talk about is the footwork here. Shotgun, 3-step drop. Tells me out of shotgun, if you're 3-step dropping in shotgun, is a long developing play. That means that you're trying to push the ball down the field here. I can't make a decision here in terms of, like, was this an example of an off-schedule play, or was this just coverage did a good job, and then this is Malik Willis being the playmaker that he is, running the football. Hard to say, guys. I have no clue how to judge a play like this without being able to get an all-22 angle from it. I'm kind of subject to what the angle is that I'm being given here. So definitely could be potentially an example of where he needs to play a little bit more on time with the offense here, hang in there, get the football out, or it could just be a situation where you see his athleticism take over. It's really difficult to say, guys, from the angle. All right, guys, another shotgun formation snap. Another example where he kind of eludes the pocket, leaves the pocket here. I will say, I'm not going to break down the footwork. At this point, guys, you kind of get it. You get the 1, 3, 5-step, 7-step. You get what a false step is. You get the difference between under center and shotgun. You guys have heard me say it enough between the first video and the second video. What I will say here is what concerns me is that, did you notice the tuck? He's immediately going to tuck and then run. One criticism I would give him as a coach, and he would have been talking to me about this. You don't do that. You keep that football ready in the throwing position. You never know who's going to break free on the play like that. That's an example of a guy not really keeping his eyes downfield and not looking. He's immediately looking to go run. You can't do that, guys. Not at the next level, man. Like, I can respect the decisiveness of the decision of, okay, I don't see it. It ain't there. I can run this. I get that aspect of things, but at the next level, man, that's a big no-no. You got to keep that ball ready. You got to keep your eyes downfield. You don't know who's going to break away from a defender. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep yourself available to make a really big splash play through the air still. All right, I really wanted to bring this play up just to kind of show everybody, is he coming back down to his checkdowns, right? I mean, for a young quarterback, this is kind of a very important thing to measure and to see. And what I can see here is that I had a 1-step drop. So I got a 1-step drop here. So I know this is a somewhat faster developing play. I'm in a shotgun. I got a 1-step drop. Now, I will say, in shotgun with a 1-step drop, that does not preclude or take away the possibility of in-breaking routes, mid-developing level routes, right? You can still do that from shotgun. But normally it's either a mid-developing route or it's a shorter route. He clearly doesn't like what he sees originally, and then you see the reset, right? They call a lot reset. So you see him reset. So you can kind of see he hitches, and then he comes back down, throws the ball out to the flats. It's not an impressive play by any stretch of the imagination, but it does give you some indication that he will go through progressions and get the ball down. So, I mean, the underlying thing is there. There seems to be some level of coaching with this young man to kind of get him comfortable enough to do that. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to share with you some final thoughts about Malik, Willis's kind of prospects as an NFL player. So to begin with, arm strength. I definitely see the arm strength at times. Some of the things I noticed from a critiquing standpoint is I do think on passes that are over 25 yards, I notice the hips do seem to be getting through those passes a little late. That's something that's got to get tidied up at the next level. With that said, I mean, sure, is he a little off schedule from time to time? Absolutely. He's absolutely off schedule from time to time, from my opinion, from looking at this. I mean, anytime you got 3 out of, I looked at 12 of his snaps on 11-11, and there's 3 of them where you're kind of running the football, you're a little off schedule. But to be fair, most young quarterbacks are off schedule, guys. It's just the facts of life with these guys. How's this young man going to react against pressure, right? One argument I always hear is man, he threw 3 interceptions against this team. Anytime he played D1 levels, yeah, but he's playing D1 level with Liberty. Come on. That works both ways. Yes, against the Power 5 conferences and in better competitions, even Louisiana Monroe, he didn't play very well against. Of course, there's some underlying issues here. There's no doubt about it, guys. But we also got to consider the fact of just being completely outmatched as a team from a talent perspective. It kind of plays both ways with that, guys. With that said, I do worry about his ability to beat the blitz. I need to see what he can do versus pressure at the NFL level, because I think that's going to make or break a prospect like this. Time will tell, guys. I mean, I definitely think this is probably the upside prospect of the draft class at the quarterback position. Will he be ultimately the best quarterback? Man, it's really argumentative. Who knows? But with that said, I definitely think from a physical tools standpoint, it's all there. I can't predict if he's going to reach or achieve it, guys. That's what coaches are for. That's what putting playmakers and the front office is for, to surround him with the talent. Sometimes, guys, it's not about purely who's the better player. Sometimes it's about who goes to the better situation. And I often think that sometimes this stuff gets left out of the conversation. Being in the right situation matters more than people think. All right, y'all, I appreciate your time and attention, and we'll do this on the next group of guys. So, I mean, we got Sam Howell, we got Kenny Pickett, we got Desmond Ritter. We got a lot of guys we can break down like this. So, all right, y'all, next video.